beat ourselves up. Penny and Jane are going to stay in touch. I think Jane truly does think of Penny as a daughter/friend. On to some more negative things. I wrote
Penny
my letter
and
to
Jane
Sally
are
going
going
to
to
stay
stay
in
in
touch.
touch.
I expressed that I was extremely disappointed and also disgusted. While I will continue to have a relationship with her, she won't be welcome to any family gatherings with Penny present unless Penny has met a point in her life where she feels comfortable. I told her what some of you had said, that not taking a side would be a side, and that she had, for all intents and purposes, already uninvited herself when she was cruel to her sister. Sally had apparently come up on Friday and knocked on the door. I was out shopping at the time, and my husband spoke to her. Apparently, Sally and Michael, my son-in-law, are going to continue their relationship. I will not support it in any way or form. She may be my daughter, but that man is not welcome. I am supporting Penny through the divorce, and if Sally ever expects money for the wedding or a house, then she's a very naive girl. My husband sent her away, after which Sally said we'd have to get over it someday. Otherwise, the Christmas gathering was lovely. It was strange not getting drunk and playing board games due to COVID, but still a pleasant time. My hip hurts from the cooking. But husband and Penny did the cleaning up, so who's the real winner? I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for your kind words when I last spoke to you. Heart emoji. Edit, I know some of you are concerned about COVID, but please know that we live in a country with very few cases and we met within government guidelines. Update 2, October 30th, 2022, 2 years after the original post. Hello all, I hope this message finds you well. A lot has changed since I last spoke with you all, so I would like to update you because I'm finding things a bit difficult right now. First of all, Penny is doing well. She met someone new about a year ago. They're incredibly supportive and sweet, and they made such an effort in getting to know me and my husband. Penny was still living with me when she started seeing them, so I got to watch their relationship develop. And although Penny is a grown woman, I couldn't help but be reminded of when she was a child and having crushes. It was very endearing, and I'm glad I got to witness firsthand the smile her new partner gives her. Penny also got a new job and has moved to Ireland with her partner. Sally and Michael have continued their relationship. I don't have a lot of love to give Michael. I'm civil enough, but frankly, it is difficult for me to become invested in their relationship at all. Michael recently asked permission to marry Sally, which was disrespectful to say the least. Penny still lived with me last Christmas, so again, they were not invited. I'm not hosting this Christmas and am instead going to visit my eldest son. He and his wife had a little boy at the beginning of this year. They've asked me to stay with them for a little while so I can help with the cooking and cleaning as they've been struggling a little bit. Finally, my husband passed away 9 months ago. He fell while on a walk and hit his head, and was there for some hours before someone found him. It's been a difficult transition, to put it mildly. Being a little bit on the older side, I've lost a fair few people in my life, and while I did grieve, I always had the strength to continue. Losing my husband made me realize how much I relied on him. Not just to take the bins out or pick me up from choir practice, but all the times I was angry, sad, and overwhelmed, and he was there for me. When other people passed away, at least you get moments of respite in the grief, where you just sort of forget they've passed. With my husband, there are only reminders. Every time I wake up alone, when I now have to take the bins out, when I have to cook a meal just for one person, there's not really a moment of peace in this grief, and I have found it very difficult to deal with. It's his birthday at the end of November, and there was another moment of grief as I had to get rid of my notes for birthday gift ideas in my notebook. Everything has just been so painful to deal with, and I just cannot stop crying, even after all this time. I just can't even stand to think of the good moments I shared with him because it hurts so much. I know there's not a correct way to grieve or time limit, but I just feel like I've got to get up and start looking after myself for everyone around me. I really want to thank any of you that read this. It's been incredibly helpful just to be able to share my feelings a little bit. I hope you all have been doing well. Kind regards. New update. Update. March 17th, 2025, 2.5 years later. I wasn't quite sure how to respond to the messages I received after my last post. It seemed like a mighty task to reply to you all individually, so although I appreciate the well wishes, you'll have to settle for sharing the thank you message. So, thank you all for the advice and care you've shown since that one Christmas so many years ago. When my husband passed, I could not see another way to live my life. We had created and shared so much together, and I suppose I never imagined a life without him because I never wanted it. That being said, my husband, quite selfishly, died, and so after a year of stagnation, it was time to live a life without him. I've moved closer to my eldest son and wife to help raise my grandchildren. It was difficult at first, because although the children keep me busy and give me joy and purpose, I did sometimes wish to talk to someone my own age about my own interests, and not just Bluey. Serendipitously, I ran into an old friend of mine at the Leisure Center about a half a year ago, and she is also widowed. It feels like a light in my life has been switched back on. We reconnected almost instantly, and it's a blessing to have someone I can rely on again. We're living together, and she's pretty much considered co-grandmother. While I do still wake up alone, I now know that the kettle is already boiling downstairs. Penny is doing well. She's now moved to the Netherlands for work, and she and her partner are still together. They've just recently gone back home after visiting for the week. Sally is also doing well. I know for some that will be disappointing to hear, including myself sometimes. On one hand, as a mother, I'm glad she's happy. On the other hand, equally as a mother, I can't forgive her for hurting Penny. I also have some deeper resentments as my husband passed away while he was also hurting because of the decisions she had made. Sometimes it feels unfair to hold it against her. We still talk, and I still love her, but sometimes I feel like I'm going through the motions rather than caring for my daughter as I used to. It's also a really hard thing to talk about to other people. There's a lot of guilt and shame involved when sharing that sometimes I feel quite ambivalent towards my daughter. All in all, the last couple of years have been a bit eventful. I would give everything to turn back time, but I can't. And so I spend my time appreciating everything I still have. Once again, thank you all for your advice, care, and well wishes. The help I received was invaluable for navigating a difficult time in my life. Before I get to my thoughts, Gymnasium comments, my husband sent her away, after which Sally said we'd have to get over it someday. What pisses me off is seeing these kinds of things said by such people is that the unspoken part is, you have to get over it someday, so you might as well get over it now, because it's convenient for me. While also ignoring that what people need to get over it is time, distance, and actual fucking remorse and apologies from the person who wronged them. What does not work, has never worked, and will never work to help people get over it all, much less quicker, is telling them to just get over it. Try Adunath comments. Also, fun tip, you don't actually have to get over fuck all. I very much understand OP's perspective and decisions, but the idea that anyone has to get over the shit people do is a fallacy. I will burn the bridge while we're both standing on it if I have to. Sometimes getting over it actually means getting someone out of your life before they can fuck it up more than they already have, and only thinking of them when others bring them up. Like I said, I understand OP, but I also understand Penny. I wanted to include those comments because they covered an exact grievance that I had while reading this that I didn't want to interrupt the post to go into. Is that, yeah, I definitely hate the whole, well, you should just get over it, or you're gonna have to get over it someday anyway. Or maybe you could just apologize, because Sally, sometimes people don't have eventually. Like your father. You did something fucked up to your family, and you just kind of expect them to eventually get over it? That's gross. Can't just go to your home and hit you in the shins with a crowbar and be like, nah, you'll get over it eventually, and walk away. Like what? You hit me in the fucking shins with a crowbar and haven't apologized. What am I supposed to do? Just accept the fact that you're the crowbar swinger and call it good? No. Apologize. Show some remorse. Be a human being to your sister and mother and everyone else that you harmed in the path of pursuing the lust you had for your sister's ex-husband. Like, come on, Sally. But additionally, I'm also kind of trying to distract myself from the very unfortunate turn this post took that I was not in the slightest expecting, and it hit a few personal fears of mine of losing the person you love the most early, as well as me just simply fucking dying and leaving behind the people I care about the most. Or, God, something happening to me and no one finds me until it's too late. It's just, I have a lot of fears attached to that, and this one hit like a little too close to home. I'm not gonna lie. So a lot of me reading the comments and going on a tangent about Sally was actually me just trying to, parse a lot of this information without getting into the depths of it. But here we are, getting into the depths of it. So, yeah. Time for the unceremoniously poorly timed outro. Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSups. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSups enough. Use code Oz at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.
Rover and Faith are a big deal, but the zodiac signs need to have compatibilities. Just ignored it. I don't think the game has had any explanation about the zodiac aside from when I made the game. It was like, oh, I made my birthday, and that was it. So
welcome. Take as long as you need.
This man does not have a nose.
By all means.
Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/best of for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was collected by Glumcraft4652. The original OP is Friend Conflict 54, posted to r/relationships June 19th, 2018. My 20 female friend, 21 female, is going to great lengths to prove that my boyfriend, 24 male, is cheating, even though I know he isn't. So I live with Emily, a person I met a couple of years ago. We became fast friends, admittedly moved in together last year out of convenience, but have stayed true to our friendship, which has definitely strengthened. My boyfriend is Sam, someone I met about a year and a half ago. We've been dating for just over a year, with our relationship transitioning into a long distance relationship about 5 months ago because Sam moved for work. I never thought that there were any issues between Emily and Sam. In our early stages, she was very gracious and seemed to know the perfect balance between socializing with Sam and giving us space. It was only when Sam moved away that she started making little comments about how funny it would be if Sam had a side chick in his new city, or that I was actually a side chick and he's gone home to his family. There is no way this is true. Sam has always been honest and open, has always mentioned that he quickly shuts girls down if they try it on with him. And as for the family thing, I helped him move into his small 2-room apartment and not a family home. I've always shut this down very quickly whenever Emily starts on with it. However, recently, she's been taking extra steps to try and make me believe that my boyfriend is cheating on me. She told me over dinner the other day that she had proof that Sam had slid into the DMs of one of her friends and showed me a screenshot of Sam's secret Twitter account hitting on her friend about 9 months ago. This account was not Sam's username at all, and just in case it had been a secret account, I searched the username and it came up with a profile of a 15-year-old boy also called Sam. Though I told Emily this, she was insisting that this profile was my Sam, and that he was clearly catfishing using this kid, or that he was Sam's younger brother. Sam has no younger siblings. So last night she sent me an SOS message saying that there was an emergency, but after rushing home to see what was happening, she said that the emergency was that Sam doesn't have his Facebook relationship on his profile, and that it was obvious he's trying to appear single. The reason his relationship isn't public is because I asked for it not to be, since I don't believe that my relationship status is everyone else's business. We are in a relationship on Facebook, but only privately. Yet again, I explained this to Emily, and she still tried to argue that he could still be cheating, and that I was subconsciously manipulated to keep the status private by him. I really wasn't. I'll clarify here that I've never said to Emily that I think Sam will cheat on me in this new city because I don't. Simple enough. It may have been that she was jealous or wanted him for herself, but she's in a relationship of her own. Her boyfriend of 2 years is over usually 2 to 3 nights a week. I'm definitely going to put her on an information diet regarding my relationship. But should I consider going further? Too long didn't read, my friend and housemate is constantly trying to convince me that my boyfriend is cheating on me using flimsy evidence. Is there a way of getting her to stop? Relevant comments. User KissByFire2194. Is there a possibility that your friend is jealous of your relationship with Sam? I encountered a nearly identical situation with my roommate/close friend last year when my boyfriend proposed. He was in the Navy at the time, and on Christmas Eve, stayed at our apartment and asked me to marry him. At first, my friend was quite happy for me, but a few weeks later, her own boyfriend randomly broke up with her. Around this time, my fiance, who was working on going sober, relapsed and got wasted one night. My friend used my fiance's relapse as an excuse to try and convince me to break up with him. She was determined to show me that because my fiance relapsed, he was an unreliable guy who didn't deserve me. Realistically, my friend was just bitter that her own relationship had recently ended. She wanted someone to wallow in her misery with her. I called her out on it, and she backed off, which was good because, quite honestly, she was acting ridiculous and obsessing over my relationship. Opie responds, she could be jealous, but she's very happy with her boyfriend, unless she isn't, and she's being very good at hiding it from everyone, including her boyfriend. Maybe she just wanted me to be her single friend? User Doughchild comments, Is there a benefit for her if you're single? Like, do you bring Sam over to your place a lot? Or are you planning on moving in soon with him away from her? Has she ever been cheated on in a similar situation? Lock your room and watch your phone. It shouldn't be, but that's how she'll get information if you stop telling her about you and Sam. Do tell her that you're no longer going to respond to her emergencies and put her on mute when possible. Then you only get upset when you're no longer busy. User Our Relationships pod comments. Like, do you bring Sam over to your place a lot? This seems unlikely as this behavior only started after Sam moved to another place and was no longer coming over frequently, since their long-distance relationship. Opie responds, Sam and I are in a long-distance relationship, and so far he has been over for 2 weekends in 5 months. So she couldn't claim she's annoyed at his presence, especially when her boyfriend can spend half a week at our place. We're also not planning on moving in together anytime soon since I have a solid life here. To the best of my knowledge, she has never been cheated on, nor has she been in a long distance. So all of her beliefs about Sam cheating on me, because we're in one, are built on tales from others. User Suspect Robot comments, she sounds a bit unstable and drama queeny to be honest. This is a case of has crazy theory, tries to get the facts to fit. It doesn't really matter what her motive is. Tell her bluntly that you feel she's trying to ruin your relationship, and that if she doesn't stop, the friendship will be over. Final update, 9 days later. So, I posted a few days ago about my housemate Emily, who had made it her life's mission to try and make me see that my long-distance boyfriend Sam was cheating on me. After posting my original post, I sat Emily down and told her that I would not be engaging in conversation with her about Sam at all. She tried to claim it was all in my best interest to listen to her, but did rein it in. Drama over! Until it all blew up. I got a very angry message yesterday from Emily's boyfriend calling me every name under the sun, including a homewrecker. I asked him what the hell was going on, and he said that he knew all about how I'd been cheating on Sam and how I'd convince Emily to do the same to him. It turns out he'd found out that Emily was on Tinder and was talking to guys, and had even met up with a couple and done whatever. I had no clue she was doing this. Whenever she left the house for the night, she always said she was staying at her boyfriend's. I told him, in no uncertain terms, that I had not encouraged Emily to cheat on him, and I was not cheating on Sam. He then tried to claim that Emily had told him that I was away getting some Tinder guy on a specific evening that I wasn't in the flat. I was celebrating Sam's birthday with him in his city, and had timed and dated photos to prove it. And of course, Emily knew where I really was. I have no clue whether or not her boyfriend believes me, but I haven't had any other messages from him since. Emily was wailing on my door about 10 minutes later, saying that her ex-boyfriend had gone insane, and she only cheated because he was abusive. I can't say I saw anything, but I also can't say this was a definite lie. And she was scared about his reaction, so she said I was involved. She then said I would understand her position if I had broken up with Sam like she wanted me to. I'll admit, that got my attention. I asked what she meant, and she said that she had wanted us both to be free from our partners, but she knew I wouldn't cheat on Sam, so had tried her best to convince me that he was cheating, so I would leave him. She got the door slammed in her face. Even if she did want an escape from her own abusive relationship, her non-stop attempts to persuade me to leave my boyfriend just for her own gain is enough for me to just cut her off. I didn't even wait until Emily woke up this morning to put my plan to move out into action. The landlord has been contacted and is very understanding. We're very close to the end of our tenancy anyways, so I'm breaking my lease, and I'm going to spend the night in a friend's spare room before making my next move. I might write her a goodbye note, but she hardly deserves it. I've been wondering for a while whether or not I should move to be with Sam. I think this is now going to be a big part of my decision. Also, a lot of comments in the original post were suggesting that something had happened between Sam and Emily while he was still living in this area, and she was trying to make me see that without coming clean. I didn't reply to any comments because I know the sorts of responses I would have got to. I know he's not cheated on me with Emily, but I do know he didn't. He never contacted Emily privately, and was really only friendly to her because she was my housemate. Sam was just as unlikely to cheat with Emily as I was with any of his friends, family, or housemates. I know some of you may still think that he could have cheated/cheat in the future, and I can't definitively say he didn't/won't, but I'm not going to ruin my relationship with what if style thoughts. Too long didn't read. Housemate, who was trying to prove to me that my boyfriend was cheating, was actually cheating on her boyfriend and wanted me to join in by convincing me to dump my boyfriend. Found out from her boyfriend, who had been told that I was the one telling her to cheat on him. I wasn't. I'm moving out as quickly as my legs will let me. Top comments. User 7 up, 8 down, 9 left comments. Make sure to photograph the apartment so that you can protect yourself should Emily try to damage the apartment after you break your lease. While your landlord may provide your security deposit, Emily may try to sue you for damages incurred during your tenancy that prevent her from getting her security deposit. User RQ Naughty comments, the strangest thing about this is that even if you were cheating on Sam, how does that make it your fault that she cheated? Does she not have free will of her own? Like, she sees a friend cheat and instantly thinks that she has to as well? Emily did a great job of distracting her ex and directing his anger at you. Her ex is an idiot, though, and in my opinion, to even entertain the idea that it's your fault. Clearly, they aren't very mature people. Good riddance. And edit to clarify, my questions are rhetorical. Really, some people couldn't understand the sarcasm. My questions are rhetorical. I really just asked them to point out the absurdity of the situation. You can all stop explaining to me the concept of making excuses and shitty people not taking personal responsibility. User Kins comments, I wouldn't even write her a note. She doesn't deserve it. She deserves to wake up and realize that there is no one there anymore and needs to realize that when you do stuff like this to people, people will leave you. What she did was insane. I'm happy that you finally found out what the hell was going on. See, sometimes we get best ofs like this, where the main meat and potatoes of the post itself is already crazy. Like, I was expecting a twist, but I was not expecting this at all. But then, I'm then derailed by Reddit being Reddit. Because now, instead of focusing on Emily's behavior and, where the truth actually lies in this whole situation, instead, I'm focused on the people who are convinced that Sam is cheating because they're chronically online, and then additionally, the final comment, where for some reason the concept of sarcasm and using 4 question marks in a row just goes right over their head. Like, yes, Reddit, the person asking if whether or not Emily has free will of her own was being 100% deadpan serious. Like, god damn. This post was collected by Garden Geo. The original OP is Mo Salted Chips and r/what is this thing? A sub dedicated to identifying mysterious objects. The collector of this post has titled this, OP disappears into the mountains while sub worries over the mystery object. The original post, which was posted November 16th, 2019, is titled, Found in a crawl space of a house from the 80s next to 3 red boxes encased in concrete. The lid with the radioactive sticker on it was found sitting on top of the concrete slab. The red you can see is 3 metal boxes encased in 18 inches of concrete with another layer of cinder blocks on top of it. OP includes the following photo, which for those of you who are audio listeners, there are 3 small red cabinet drawers placed below a large concrete slab, and they are also inset within it. This seems to be in some kind of crawl space or basement, with there being metal support beams above. There is also a white lid, which does in fact say, radioactive material. This has the same gold hardware that the red drawers have. Comments and additional details from OP. OP, no idea. It's a pretty quaint and otherwise normal house off a busy road, about 5 miles from our college campus. US specifically, Northern Utah. Which campus? Utah State University. The plate with the warning and handles was about 3 to 5 millimeters too thick height-wise, and about 3 inches too short lengthwise to fit in the opening where the boxes are. Definitely not trolling, and it's a friend's house, so I don't know the full details. Commenter 1. Pretty sure you should notify the Department of Energy or police about this one. Commenter 2. The concrete is to keep the radiation contained. You could also call the NRC, Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Cover it back up and stay away. Exposure prevention is based on distance and time, with blocking materials basically increasing your distance by preventing some of the energy from passing through. Spend as little time near it as possible. Commenter 3. I work for an environmental company and haul hazardous waste. The first thing is that label, specifically in red, is for Group 1 and 2 radioactive materials, which are the worst, assuming it was properly labeled. That case and the door may be made of lead, so don't handle it often and follow precautions for lead. 14 MR of radiation isn't a lot considering it's also properly labeled. I'd report it, but be careful how you report it, or hazmat teams in level A suits are going to shut down your entire street. Do not try to get rid of it or transport it. Call the DEP and tell them what's going on. In my state, we run home hazardous waste drives funded by the DEL, and we have taken all sorts of haz. Commenter 4. Radiation doses are cumulative, so being close by for a short period is probably fine, but for longer terms, or frequently, wouldn't be. Commenter 5. I work in the nuclear power industry. Things that need that much shielding are never kept in residential areas. Given the age, the source containers could be leaking and there could be considerable contamination, if they're actually in there. Do not open the red boxes and do not go back in the crawl space. Take a shower and call the police. Update 1. Same day, several hours later. Okay, quick blanket update for everyone. It's not my house, and I was over there last night when we found the boxes. I posted this morning, and after getting all the warning messages, I have contacted my friend who owns the house and forwarded all the warnings and highly recommended he contact some of the agencies you have recommended. I will be in the mountains and out of service for a good chunk of the day, but I will do a follow-up with the friend when I get back and keep you all updated. I appreciate all the advice and information and can only hope it is nothing too serious because I definitely fondled that lid for a good amount of time. Comments. Comment 1. Get into contact with a critical amount of radioactive material? Decide to go into the mountains instead of the hospital. Holy shit, some people. Commenter 2. Considering this guy's brain/common sense seems to be out to lunch, would it be any use if we did so? Might be location data in the picture depending on the device. Commenter 3. The NRC has been contacted. They are aware of the situation and are treating it as a priority event. According to the NRC, multiple federal agencies are involved at this point, as well as agencies within the state of Utah. That being said, OP should still contact them as he or she has firsthand knowledge and will be able to help resolve this quicker. It's not a question of if feds will be knocking on their door at this point, but when. Comment 4. I probably don't want to be out of cell phone range right now, buddy. Fort Curie is a lot of radiation, and you could be putting everyone you contact in risk. Did you open it? Commenter 5. The guy handled radioactive material, covered in warnings, and when told the danger, decided to go to the mountains out of cell phone range. I'm assuming at this point they were tossing it around and playing games with it. Commenter 6. It is very important that the authorities are notified. I'm a huge nuclear fanatic and love old nuclear artifacts, but I would feel obligated to myself and the public to let the authorities know. Orphan sources are a serious threat. People have died from orphan sources. Update 2. The next day. Okay, here's the lowdown. This is absolutely not a troll. I left the mountains before this blew up without thinking much about it because Reddit likes to overreact often. But when I got back and saw how it blew up, I just wanted to end the thread without getting the fucking SWAT team called on my friend. Until I started reading comments saying that plenty of agencies were already contacted, so I got genuinely worried and called my friend to tell him we both should go to the hospital. Well, turns out he has already contacted on the phone multiple government agencies, NRC first, who put him in touch with the local PD and hazardous waste, who are sending someone to check it out on Monday, as they are not that concerned because they got the pictures on Reddit and already know what it is. They keep really fucking good track of nuclear material. Surprise! So there's that. Fuck most of you for being so high and mighty, and for those of you who are genuinely concerned and trying to help, thank you so much. I'm fucking dumb, a complete haphazard idiot, but I'm not out to hurt anybody and spread radiation around the city. I'm sorry I didn't call the police immediately after finding out this might be genuinely serious. I'm glad some of you would have done better. Thanks. Edit, found out agencies that contacted friend. Double edit. Since people are asking, he apparently contacted the NRC first early this morning after I made the initial post and contacted him. They didn't find him. Comments. Comment 1. This should be on r/today I fucked up. Today I made a post on Reddit and the entire government got involved. Comment 2. Most of these comments came from a place of concern for you, your friend, and those around you. Your wanton disregard for safety about something as serious as an orphan source is infuriating. While yes, some of the comments are a bit out of hand, you absolutely deserve most of the vitriol that is coming to you right now. You knew the containers were potentially radioactive. You did not and could not know whether the containers actually held radioactive material. You did not contact authorities in a timely manner. You moved, handled, and your friend opened the containers despite the high risk of contamination to you, the surrounding area, and whatever else you managed to touch. Your attitude tells me that you still don't appreciate the gravity of the situation. Hundreds have died doing exactly what you did because the container they opened wasn't empty. Opening the box to see what's inside it is about as intelligent as looking down the barrel of a gun to see if it's loaded. Yes, it didn't kill you, but why on earth would you do it? OP responds, I wholeheartedly accept that I should have contacted the authorities sooner, but we spent less than 5 minutes with the lid, took 2 pictures, and then left everything there. I posted on Reddit at 7 a.m., and my friend contacted the NRC by 10 a.m. Half of the people on here said the sticker looked fake. Are they all infuriating morons that deserve vitriol if they would have just left it in their crawl space without a second thought? Who the fuck are you helping? Your vile high horse attitude isn't helping anyone except you feel good about my honest mistake. Does it feel nice knowing you didn't fuck up today and someone else did? Comment 3. I want to know how they would even get into contact based off of 2 photos. Opie responds, your guess is as good as mine, but if 2,000 plus people make a drink about someone potentially having nuclear material in the basement, someone is bound to take it seriously. Commenter 4. Just check his post history. He lives in Logan, Utah. Commenter 5. The material might still be at the last address it was registered to. That's the first place I'd look if I was them. Commenter 6. How did they get in contact with your friend? How did they know who to contact? Opie responds, several people made reports to several government agencies using the info I provided on this thread. Commenter 7. I wonder what the officials are gonna think when they're gathering all the info / questioning everyone and they find out the next day OP mysteriously went to the mountains. OP responds, that OP has a good time enjoying the outdoors? Commenter 8. I'm glad that it doesn't seem to be that pressing of a health or safety concern, but based on your previous comments, some of which have been edited away, you and your friend could have handled this much, much better. Good luck to you. Additional comments from OP. Honestly, I've been in cell service for all of 1 hour since I made the post, and the NRC was already at my friend's front door. Granted, I handled it like a fool, but it's stunning how many people are trying to put me down for having handled it improperly. I hope you have a wonderful day, my friend. Hey, thank you so much. It's very exhausting having thousands of people tell you how stupid you are for doing something wrong. I hope all is going well for you, and I appreciate the support. So, real quick, in OP's defense before hearing this thread, how many of you, upon accidentally stumbling upon potentially radioactive material, would have known the exact proper procedures to take without Googling it? Update 3, 2 days later. Okay guys, here's the wrap up to this whole fiasco. I want to start this off by saying please stop contacting my local police department, fire department, the NRC, the FBI, and any other of the various agencies you all have been contacting. The people that need to know are well aware of the situation and it has now been handled. At this point, the calls and reports are starting to take up valuable time that all of these agencies need to be spending on better things. Thank you. As of today, a 3-man team from the State of Utah Department of Environmental Quality, Division of Waste Management and Radiation Control, Uranium Mills and Radioactive Materials Section, holy shit, Showed up at my friend's house around 10 a.m. and spent a few hours taking readings, swabbing samples, and asking questions, and after all of that, found nothing but natural trace amounts of radon. The lid, they think, was from the late 1950s and was unrelated to the vault. They had no idea what the vault was for, and they think it was for storing valuables. Here are pictures of the empty vault. Nothing but a piece of thin sheetrock in the middle one. As for the lid, one of the crew members asked what my friend wanted to do with it. He said, with as much of a hassle it caused him, he'd rather not have it. They said they thought it was a cool piece of history, so he let them have it. They would appreciate it much more than he would. And that's it. After spending the last 2 days thinking we were on our way to death's door, getting half of the government looking our way, causing my friend to miss work and loads of undue stress, that's it. Thanks, everyone. To the people that posted some genuinely concerned and thoughtful posts and advice, thank you all especially. There's some really good people out there. Have a great week, everyone. And OP did post 6 photos that show the red drawers in more detail, as well as them being open and the sheetrock that was inside. There was a final update posted by the mod of the sub 3 days later. The Harper Journal News, authorities, there was no radiation, despite concern over strange finds in Cache Valley home. Thankfully, an anticlimactic ending to this one, because if there was a satisfying conclusion, that would not be good for OP's health, and could have potentially been fatal. Did OP potentially mishandle a radioactive material in his friend's home? 100% so. But to be fair, if you went into your basement and you found a sticker saying something was radioactive, you'd probably be skeptical of it too. Why would there be radioactive waste in my home? Who the fuck would store this here? What are the chances the previous homeowner is playing a fucked up prank on me? You have these thoughts, you're probably thinking to yourself, these red metal cabinet drawers that I might find in an office space don't seem like a proper way to store radioactive material. Let me see what Reddit thinks. And now you've got Reddit seeking every federal agency on you because you didn't know the proper way on how to approach taking care of radioactive material, as well as a shit ton of personal insults and attacks going your direction. And trust me, I know that orphan sources are extremely dangerous and how much bodily damage mild exposure to radioactive material can cause. But going after OP and insulting their intelligence does nothing but kind of stroke your own ego off, while OP could be actually dealing with a medical crisis. And rather than checking in and trying to encourage them to take care of themselves, instead you're taking the opportunity to get some solid slam dunks in instead. Buddy was literally on r/what is this thing. This post was collected by Shattenspringer. Their tagline is, waste of a read, literally no drama. The original OP is Audi Carmichael, posted to r/am I the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my fiance her tattoo of my dead brother makes me uncomfortable? Posted September 14th, 2025. First time Redditor here. Okay, so for context, my older brother, 30 male, while I'm 29 male, passed away 3 years ago in a motorcycle accident. This fucked me up severely, and it still does. He was my best friend, and we had that whole inseparable since we knew each other type shit. Even if he was older, he was never the stereotypical older brother bully sort, and I loved him for that. Anyway, my fiance, who I'll call Bella, is 28 female, and met him only a few times, but always said she admired our bond as she has no real siblings of her own. Only step, but they aren't close. A few weeks ago, Bella surprised me with a fucking tattoo she got in memory of my brother. It's this pretty fucking big, realistic grayscale tattoo of his face with a little Snoopy icon beside it on her upper arm, with his nickname we use, and his birth and death dates underneath. When I saw this, I was fucking stunned. She said she did it as a tribute to him and to support me because she knows how much I still struggle with grief. I honestly didn't know what to say at first, but the more I sat with it, the more it bothered me. I told her, gently, as much as I could to be honest, that I appreciated the gesture but found the tattoo really uncomfortable. Like, it's unsettling to see his face on my fiance's body. Like it's too much, especially since they barely knew each other. She got upset and said I was being weird about a nice gesture and making her regret doing something beautiful. Her words. Now she's distant, and my mom thinks I should just be thankful someone loved my brother enough to memorialize him. But first off, I didn't ask her to do this. Now I'm stuck with a fiance that won't even talk to me properly, and my brother's perfectly black and gray eyes staring at me when I'm laying beside her. And honestly, I don't even want to think of how horrifying having sex would be with that on her arm. Am I being unreasonable? Asshole-ish? Is it my right to ask her to get it covered up or like zoinked off? I guess I'm adding some additional details because I don't know how to respond individually. My fiance and I both have tattoos, and many of them. I have smaller ones and she has bigger ones. To my knowledge, neither of us are mentally ill in any capacity, and we aren't on medication. I can't believe I have to write this. And ever since my reaction, she has been wearing longer sleeve shirts in the daytime. At work, she has to anyway. But that's for home too. It's only during bedtime that I really see it with her wearing tanks, and it physically hurts. LOL. Consensus, not the asshole. Commenters are asking if she could show signs of being bipolar, if she takes any medication that could mess with her decision making. Some of the comments by OP. For info, yes, me and her both have tattoos and plenty of them. And we're both the sort that like to have tattoos linked to good memories or experiences. Like my latest tattoo, 5 or so months ago for my childhood dog. Though, I'd like to be clear, I got a paw print with her name under it. A paw print, not a whole portrait of her. My fiance has similar ones that are larger in scale, so her forearm tattoo with my brother's face isn't half odd aesthetically. It's my fucking brother. Also, to my knowledge, she's been doing fine and has only been bitter for a few weeks by my reaction. Another comment. Sigh, that's my mistake for not knowing anatomical terms. Just so it's clear, it's on the upper part of her arm, which I thought was the forearm because it's the arm attached to the rest of the body. And so the first one, the forearm, like the foremost, I don't know, that's my mistake. It is the upper arm though. Also, in case this comes up, I know the anatomical terms for my legs and torso because I do have tattoos there. Slightly clueless on the arms though, so sorry, but thanks for bringing it up. Another comment. I will probably ask her to remove it completely, though I'm guessing it'll be a hard conversation and she'll expect me to pay for it. Which I don't necessarily mind, but it sucks anyway. I was initially going to suggest a cover-up, but I read some comments saying it'd be difficult. I'm not sure, but I'd figure it out once we speak about it again. Commenter from OK Illustrator 5694. I don't think you should ask her to have it removed or covered up. She'll say you're controlling. I do think you should consider if this is the type of person you want to be in a relationship with at all. I'd break up with her if it were me. OP responds, I did want to initially ask her to remove it entirely, like laser it off, but this is making me doubt it. On the other hand, if she does throw those accusations at me, I feel like I'll have sufficient grounds to call off the engagement and ask for a break. Purely because I've known and loved this woman for so damn long, and I don't want to take the wrong action whatsoever. Another comment. I really wish she did ask because I would have said no a million times over. To my knowledge, she has dealt with death before, but with her mom's cousins and distant relatives. So I guess she's never experienced grief in a way that's deeply personal and close-hitting. I'm glad she hasn't because it's been 3 years for me, and I'm barely intact. But it would explain why she did it. User MotoDudeCatDad comments, hear me out. Maybe, just maybe, your brother has been in your spotlight for a long time and she wants to be, but doesn't know how to. So, she goes out of her way to impress you, but unfortunately in an inappropriate way. Maybe something along the lines of this happened. Otherwise, I don't know, man. OP responds, hey man, these have been my thoughts exactly, though I'm ashamed to say it. I admittedly have been in over my head with grief ever since everything happened and feel like she did this to support me, but missed the mark in how she went about it. I don't feel like her actions were mentally ill or ill-natured because I know her and I know she wouldn't want to hurt me intentionally. So this just might be it. Commenter Gravy Bunny comments, not the asshole, that's a wild overstep on her part. It's one thing to support you through grief, it's another to permanently tattoo your brother's face on her body when they barely knew each other. That's not a tribute, that's weirdly possessive of your grief and your bond with him. You have every right to feel uncomfortable seeing your late brother's face on your fiance's arm every day, especially in intimate situations. It doesn't mean you don't appreciate the sentiment, it just crosses a line. She should have asked you before making such a huge decision involving someone so personal to you. Opie responds, weirdly possessive of your grief. I really like that, and while I think my fiance didn't have any bad intentions regarding this, it does feel fitting. User Shadow Panda 987 comments, she's gotta have the whole family tattooed on her back. Bro won't be able to do it doggy ever again. Opie responds, LOL, laughed at this a little too loudly. Laughing emoji, sweating emoji. Update, September 15th, 2025, one day later. Hi guys, I don't know if anyone cares enough for this, but for the few that do, here's an update to the situation, LOL. After breakfast this morning, at around 7:30, it's 10:34 as I write this by the way, I sat down, already was sitting down after eating, but yes, whatever, with my fiance and spoke about the fucking tattoo again. I basically echoed all the comments I've received, which, by the way, I'm so grateful for the most part, because some of them were crazy. Anyway, I told her again that the tattoo made me very uncomfortable and wasn't the leap she needed to take to comfort or support me on my journey with grief, as I still had a firm belief that she didn't do this in a malicious manner. She was quiet initially, and then asked if she could explain herself, and I said I was willing to listen. To summarize, she said she simply got the tattoo because she thought it would symbolize the extent she would go to love and support me, and said in that way, I had both people I loved so much in the same place. Her words, not mine. She did say she was sorry and that she wouldn't have done it if she knew that I wouldn't have liked it. I asked her why she hadn't spoken to me about it prior, and she said it wouldn't have been a surprise then, which is what she wanted it to be. She also said, and I'm remembering this fresh and internally cringing as I write this, that the tattoo was meant to be a symbol of a new beginning because we're going to get married in a couple months, and she wanted to turn over old leaves. I'm still stuck on what she meant, so I'd appreciate any word sleuths helping me in this. To wrap it up, I said I didn't want to end our relationship over this and I really wanted to move on from it, but that she needed to either cover it up or laser it off, and she was, to say the least, not very happy about it. Said a cover-up would be complicated and would take too long, said laser might be painful and look scary from the videos, also said she likes how the tattoo looks, along with her other ones, and asked if I'd be okay with her just covering it up either with clothes or foundation. I was as firm as I could be. Mind you, this is the woman I've loved for 5 years straight, so admittedly, I'm soft. But I reiterated that I wanted it gone, either by a cover-up or a laser. She was quiet then, and that's honestly where the conversation ended. She already left for work at 10, and I'm going to start my own work now, as I work remotely from home after I finish this. Anyways, I hope this works out, and I would appreciate any advice. I did read a comment that shamed me for taking this to Reddit instead of speaking with her first, so I will prioritize our communication first, but will hopefully keep this updated. Thanks for all the help for now. Comments from OP. AnyNet5289 comments, did you ask what she meant by turning over old leaves? OP responds, I was going to, yes, but she asked to speak first without interruptions, so by the time I got around to discussing it as a whole, I'd forgotten. Update 2, September 16th, 2025, 2 days later, from the original post. It's final. I've broken up with her. I don't even know why I'm writing this other than to get some closure on the situation and maybe some support. I've read so many comments this morning, and while it didn't go the way I or anyone anticipated, I've taken my decision though, and I'm struggling to accept it myself. Last night, when Bella came home from work, I made sure to make dinner and asked if we could talk after dinner in the back garden. She said that was okay, but that she needed time to shower and unwind before dinner, so she'd be a bit late, but that I could start eating. I agreed, and she went upstairs while I ate the dinner I'd made with the TV on in the back. She came down about an hour later, while I was winding things up and washing the dishes from earlier, and I offered to get her a hot plate, and she agreed, saying she'd eat it on the couch in our living room rather than the kitchen where we have a dining table, also where I ate. I said that was fine, and I brought it over to her, and as I gave it to her while she was sitting, her hand out to take it, I somehow managed to drop it, and the hot spaghetti bolognese went all over her. I immediately apologized profusely and went to grab her some water and tissues and towels, but she just started screaming at me. I do not want to make myself sound like a victim in this, so I want to be careful with how I write this, but yes, she started saying that I did that on purpose and that I was punishing her for our conversation that morning and for the tattoo in general. I immediately defended myself as I brought over a damp towel and some tissues and said I knew I had a steady grip on the plate, so there was no way I had done that on purpose. Also saying that I always spoke respectfully and calmly to her about the tattoo situation and that I'd never escalate things like this. Things beyond are a blur, but we had a big fight and she broke many, and I mean many, of our glasses and plates, even trying to pull off a cabinet door in our kitchen that was already not in good condition and threw anything around her at me. By the end of it, I said I couldn't be with her anymore and that this was the last straw and left for my parents' house. I haven't returned and I haven't picked up any of her calls or messages, and I'm honestly afraid of what she'll do to my belongings if she so easily broke so much of the shit we bought together. I'm still at my parents' house and I haven't told them either, but I think this is it. This may be the last update because I don't know if I can focus on this when I have everything else I need to resolve. Thank you for all your comments. I really appreciate them, and I never expected this outcome. Peace and love to all that helped. Final update. I've spoken to family about it, and they asked me to try to have a final conversation to remedy this. And I rejected it. We'll be bringing my things back either tonight or tomorrow, depending on when she gets back from work, and we'll bring a friend with me. I'm more at peace with my decision now, so thank you for all the help. There are so many red flags in this one, I don't even know where to start. And in the final update, I don't even know where to go from there because that is just straight up horrible. Like the entire tangent that I was mentally preparing for throughout the post pretty much got thrown out the window after that last update. Also, OP's family is failing him. Like, I really hope they asked him to try to reconcile the relationship before he had explained what she had done, because if he was like, yeah, she tried to tear a cabinet door off and throw it at me, and they were like, you should really try to have a conversation with her, your family failed you. Like, just full on. But also, I do like the theory that she was, getting the tattoo in a sense to own OP's grief. Like, it makes a lot of sense, and I was kind of also thinking along the similar lines of it being that level of control, and the phrasing and wording of that is just perfect and on the nose. I'm definitely left believing this may have been some kind of, like, attention ploy thing because of her whole comment on, this is so we can turn over a new leaf moving forward with the death of your brother. That, I don't like that at all. And it's a shame OP will never know the answer because, she threw the entire kitchen at him. Quite literally. But in the end, I'm glad that OP's out of that situation. But I really just want to end on the idea of how do you, in your head, get the idea that getting a realistic photo tattooed of your fiance's brother on your arm is a good idea without even consulting them first? Like, that's gotta be expensive as fuck, right? And it's not like she can just return the tattoo either. Like, this is a very permanent decision to just get on a whim without any kind of consultation. Like, damn. Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code Oz at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Press and Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now. Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some oh no, consequences. As per usual, I'll be reading you the post, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Posted to am I the butt face? Am I the butt face for telling my daughter how it really is? I can't take that title seriously. I'm new to this, so if there's something I'm doing wrong with the post, tell me. I'm coming on to talk a little bit about what's going on between me and my daughter. She's 25 and she does have autism, but she's high functioning, so I believe she can do more than what she says she can do. She currently has a part-time job. I'm not saying the name of the job for safety reasons, but she's only working 2 days a week. She has been really hesitant to drive the last 3 years because the last time I tried talking to her about driving, she about backed into another car and it freaked both of us out. So, because she doesn't have her driver's license and is relying on the city bus to get her back and forth to work, she's having a hard time finding another job that will hire her. She's now working on learning how to drive with an occupational therapist that is an hour away from us, but she is using her insurance transportation system to get her back and forth instead of paying for gas herself. Something she could have done a long time ago with the driver's ed in our town. She's also fighting to get on disability because in 6 months, she'll be 26 and will lose her insurance. Her mom and her aunt and uncle have been helping her with this. I told her that being a social security rat... What the fuck? I told her that being a social security rat the rest of her life isn't going to get her far, and she needs to stop being so lazy and playing her games and using her autism as an excuse. Oh boy. The comment section will not be kind to you. Oh god. A big thing that's bothering me is she hardly ever comes out to see me anymore. I did not hear from her at all on Easter weekend. Her sister ended up moving back in with her cat, so I figured that would bring her over more, but it's not. She has no excuse not to come see me as she only works 2 days a week. I only see her 4 days a month if I'm lucky. She sees her mom, aunt, and uncle way more than she sees me, and when I ask her why, she won't tell me. I'm going through a rough patch right now, so things have been hard on me too. Anyways, I told my daughter not to be a social security rat, and now she doesn't come to see me anymore. Why is that? I mean, I only told her this is how the world is and stop using her autism as an excuse. I don't understand why she sees everyone else constantly except for me. Dude, the easiest way that I can explain what it's like being non-neurotypical, whether it's ADHD or high-functioning autism, is, yeah, you got yourself a car. Everyone has a car to get to work. But your car always has the check engine light on. A tire is always going flat. Maybe you're dealing with something of the radiator's about to fail, the transmission's having problems. Sometimes the engine just doesn't want to turn over. So, every morning, you have to put extra effort in to make sure that the car actually starts and can get to work. It's exhausting. It's extra steps, it's part of your morning, but you make it work, you make do. But you start your day off behind everyone else. You get to work late. And when you try to explain what's going on, people don't seem to understand. They just see it as, well, you have a car, and you got here, so it can't be that bad. And no matter how much effort you put into trying to fix that car, something will always go wrong with it. Something will always set you back. Something will always cost you more energy than you're expecting, and something will always throw your day off. And it's something that you can't explain to regular people because it's, well, my car doesn't do that, so you must just be exaggerating, or just do this instead. It always feels like you're doing just good enough to make it by, but you're always one step behind everyone else. And then when you try to explain what's going on to everyone else, they just simply say, sounds like you're using your car as an excuse. Cross-posted from r/entitled people. Entitled Client learns that professionals can in fact walk away. I work as an engineer. I do some consulting on the side, but typically only for people I know and as a favor. A good friend asked me to help his in-laws who were doing some fairly massive renovations/additions. I agreed solely because he asked me to. This is not something I have any interest or need in doing except as a favor. It's an old house and had "can of worms" written all over it with some of the changes they want. Now, he warned me that the mother-in-law can be unpleasant, but that was an understatement. She seemed to think that because I was being paid, I charged probably 1/10 what a business would, she could snap her fingers at me like a servant. I had a few unpleasant emails with her, but it was tolerable. She was rude when I was pointing out issues with her plans, but nothing too extreme. That changed When I started trying to find a time for me to stop by and inspect a few areas of the house to verify some information, I offered times to stop by on the weekend, but that didn't work for her. Tried evening times, still a no. Nope, she wanted me to stop by during my office work hours because that was best for her. When I told her no, this gets done on the weekends or in the evening, she went from rude to incredibly hostile, telling me that she's paying me, lol, and that I work with her availability, not the other way around. Carbon copied my friend in on the chain, told them I was out and to have fun working with whoever they get. Friend apologized. I said no worries, not my problem anymore. She emailed back quite stunned that I was walking away, telling me that it's not how business is conducted. I didn't bother responding. About 3 weeks later, I get an email from the husband now asking me if I would reconsider, and he promised that his wife won't speak to me or be involved in any way. I hear from my friend that while the quotes came back much higher, which was tolerable for them, but it was how long the wait was. They just bought this house and wanted to move in ASAP, but it's an incredibly busy time of the year for the industry. Turns out when companies you reach out to are drowning in work and you have a potentially convoluted and messy project, they aren't chomping at the bit to get your business. So now they're going to lose the trades they lined up because design would be a month or two out. I passed on the request as I struggled to believe she would be kept in check and had no desire to bail her out. My friend didn't care. Said it was nice watching her attitude give her consequences that actually affect her. I mean, my first question is was she made aware that this was being done essentially as a favor and they were charging like quite a bit lower than industry standard for this job? This is actually my dad's line of work, and this is kind of exactly what he does on the side too, where people who are looking to do renovation projects, he ensures that everything's up to code and any building modifications made are, properly engineered and whatnot. I don't really know how he does it. All I do is give him tech support and build him computers when he needs them. But I know from growing up with him just how much effort something like this can actually take, especially when dealing with older homes. Hell, when I was younger, I used to tag along on home inspections with him when he would go and take a look and just see what all was going on. And I've definitely heard some, "What the hell is this?" under his breath while looking at some of the older homes constructed in Idaho. But back to OP's story. I really do wonder if it was made crystal clear to the in-laws that my friend is doing this as a favor. God, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall when they started getting quotes from their engineering firms and just finding out how badly they fucked the deal up. Cross-posted from r/am I the asshole. Am I the asshole for not inviting my sister to my wedding because she always jokes about sleeping with my fiance? Okay, so I'm getting married in October. Small, chill, nothing crazy. Should be a happy time, right? Except my older sister, 31 female, has this thing where she constantly flirts with my fiance, 29 male, like aggressively. And it's always under the guise of, "Oh my god, I'm just joking, don't be so sensitive." First time she met him, deadass said, "Wow, you upgraded. I'd let him ruin my life too." In front of me. I laughed it off because I didn't want to seem insecure, but like, what the fuck? Then she started with the, "If you ever get bored of her, you know who to call" comments. Again, in front of me. I told her it was weird and she rolled her eyes and said I'm too uptight. She's made so many little jabs. I saw him shirtless once. Damn girl, you got lucky. If you die first, I call dibs. Too bad you got to him first. LOL. Like it never ends. My fiance thinks it's awkward but tries to ignore it. He's not flirtatious back, but he also doesn't really shut it down either. Just gets uncomfortable and laughs nervously. Last weekend was the last straw. We were at my parents' house and I left to grab something from my car. Came back and heard her saying, "I swear, I'm not making this up. I mean, if you're having second thoughts, I'm always available." Just kidding. Unless. Like, the unless was real. That's not a joke anymore. That's a goddamn come on. I snapped. Told her she's disgusting and can't come to the wedding. She flipped. Cried. Told my mom I was being dramatic. Now the whole family's saying I'm ruining the family over a joke. And she's just always been flirty and doesn't mean anything by it. I don't even care if she meant it or not anymore. I just don't want that energy around me when I'm trying to get married. But now it's this whole thing, and I'm apparently the villain for excluding her and making it a bigger deal than it is. Am I the asshole for